thank you so much, Rohit, for joining us. How are you doing today?
Yeah, like it is, everything is good. And today it was nice weather, yeah. So, talking about, I currently live in Mumbai, and here it is.
Nice.
Recently, we had the New Year's, Maharashtra's New Year. So,
Okay.
that is all.
Okay. Nice. 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 So, Rohit, why don't we start with your introduction in your own words?
Sure, sure. Introducing myself. Hello, audience. So, I'm Rohit Ghumare. I'm platform advocate at Solo.io. So, we work on the application networking and cloud native things and stuff. So, talking about that, I particularly do advocacy at the platform engineering side, platform operator side, DevOps, and cloud native. So if you want to know anything about that, DM me anywhere. I will surely help
Sure.
you. So going deep dive. So what previously means like what was my background? So I was previously ML engineer. Then I started learning DevOps by ML Ops, and then after learning that things, I enjoy the DevOps. So that's why I'm not at this DevOps advocacy stuff. And I'm also the active on various things like Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. I recently started it, and also I present the talks at the various conferences, events, meetups. I organize the conference. Recently planning for the KCD Mumbai. So if you are from India, you should definitely attend that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all I would
Yeah.
like to add.
Yeah. That's such an introduction. So, thank you very much for sharing your background and sharing your experience with everyone. So, why don't we start with a little bit of remote jobs and open source contribution? Let's take it one by one. So, what according to you is a remote job? How you end up in this role, and what are the ways through which we can apply for a remote job?
Yeah, so particularly remote job is something kind of a very like hyped word nowadays. Not a hype, it deserve it hype. So it is like what actually it is remote job. So we are not talking about like remote job where you stay and you are working from different city and different state inside your country. So not that thing. We are talking about global remote jobs. So if you are from the India, if you are from Asia Pacific or something, but like if you talk about European countries or American countries, there they getting paid in dollars, euros, and pounds. So is there any way to get paid in that salary in just by staying in that region? It is not about the salary only. It is about the work culture. The work culture in Europe is completely different in India.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
work only
Definitely.
for four days. And another thing is talking about American countries, they have like strict things. They don't want to work after their work means like
Yes.
their daily
Exactly.
timeline is completed. They don't want to work. They will
Yes.
directly shut down everything.
Yeah.
So in India, it doesn't happen. Like they will call you at night also.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
by
they will
pipeline.
WhatsApp you. They will start a WhatsApp group and keep bugging you throughout the night. Yeah, yeah, I've been there. I totally understand that. Yeah.
It is simply like pipeline फट गया आजा भाई. Yeah,
Yeah.
so similar kind of a thing happens. So I wanted to work somewhere like it can be US country or European country from the start. So I started exploring on the masters. So after completing bachelor's, I was an ML engineer kind of thing. But when I started exploring these things, like how can I pursue my masters in European or American countries. I was also focusing on Canada. But thing is, I did huge mistake while applying to Canada, which is I focused on application for the research. So if you apply for the research only, I guess 2 to 3 students they select from the entire
Okay.
folks who apply.
Hmm.
So that's why Canada was directly out of my uh, things.
Sure.
And then I was like getting selected with American countries, US, and
Hmm.
also Europe. But I found like there is recession and there is risky thing. If I go there, what I will do about visa after 2 years,
Yeah.
and what I will do if I go to the UK London, then there is a recession has affected the most at that area. So
Okay.
that's why I was confused on these things, and I found like there is some way where I can work remotely in this company, and I maintained. So getting remote job is not easy. So first we would like to clear that thing. So I had checked various things like I was interviewing with various companies from India and outside for around 3 4 months, and where I got selected in various product-based companies, which is you can count of Fang and another
Mm-hmm.
companies like which is Fang competitors.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so then afterwards, when I found out the like I want to go for the developer advocacy position, like developer advocacy was one kind of a thing which I was doing from the start, and I found like yeah, since I have the community, I am speaking at the events at the start, I am organizing the events from the start.
Sure. Yeah.
So why not to move completely into that thing? But I
Mm-hmm.
didn't wanted to move completely into the community and or like marketing kind of a role. So so I wanted to keep the balance between the both of the
Sure.
things. So
Yeah.
that's why I choose
So
the
a
developer
mix of
advocacy.
advocacy and technical kind of role.
Yeah, so then I found like, yeah, there are some startups who work in the DevOps and they have their own products like which we use. Like we use the Jenkins for pipelines, we use the Argo CD for the deployments, we use the Istio for service mesh. And then I found out like, yeah, there is some companies which is making the enterprise version for this open source projects.
Mm-hmm.
So I reached out to various companies during the KubeCon 2020,
Okay.
and yeah, and then I found various roles and stuff. Some companies hired me for the developer advocacy, but they were
Okay.
not into the cloud native or DevOps. So thing is like I didn't wanted to go into the developer advocacy where I will not work on the cloud native or DevOps.
Mm-hmm.
So because that is my kind of
Sure.
like part of a technical thing, and if I don't move there, then that is nothing. If I get nice salary and stuff,
Sure.
so that's why I focused on getting this kind of thing. So I got selected for some Kubernetes companies also, Kubernetes and stuff. But thing was like normally it happens like your position gets on hold or they
Mm-hmm.
stop the
Yeah.
hiring or that uh, these things happen. So
Yeah.
then suddenly some companies what we say VP of marketing checked
Mm-hmm.
out like this is the guy who has created this Kubernetes book and it is really nice and it is trending everywhere,
Okay.
and they reached out to me
Yeah.
and they check like if I'm looking for some kind of role around this
Mm-hmm.
developer advocacy and kind of thing.
Sure.
So I thought recently I started looking for them and they connected me directly to CTO. And CTO
Nice.
took interview and head of engineering for the app took the
Yeah.
interviews, and it was mostly around the growth and Kubernetes and cloud native. And yeah, now I
That's
work at solo.io, which is
That's pretty
remotely.
amazing. That's really inspiring, Rohit. So this is what I also say to all my viewers, all my LinkedIn followers, that try to establish yourself as a brand. When you make
Right.
your presence visible out there, then you wouldn't even have to apply for any job. Companies are
True.
starting to reach out to you by their own, by the work that you are doing, by the presence that you have maintained, by the help that you are doing for the community, all those things. So I guess
Right.
you are a live example for that. You didn't reach out like to the companies, they reach out to you, they connected you with their CTO, and who did the hiring decision and everything. So that's
Yeah.
really inspiring, and that's really a great example of benefits of establishing yourself as a brand. So that's amazing to know. My next question is like, what what can you share us about the open source contribution? Like, let's say I'm a
Mm.
developer who recently started learning a new tool or technology. How can I make some contributions to the open source, and what are the benefits of it?
Got it. So open source contribution is nothing just about of a GitHub project and contributing to the GitHub.
Yeah. Okay.
So whatever help you do the community on the technical side, and whatever you do the uh, code contributions or block contributions or documentation contributions or
Mhm.
designing contribution inside the company, which will in not inside the company, it will be the open source projects which is available everywhere. Like you talk on the Kubernetes, you talk about Istio, you talk about Jenkins, you talk about Prometheus,
Mm.
Grafana,
Yeah,
or if I talk about normal open source projects, which can be your API companies. So there are various things which is
sure.
freely available.
Hmm.
They have their projects hosted somewhere, or you can make the video tutorials or documentation tutorials which can help the people. And what happens when you are doing these things, we are not just talking about open source, we will talk about the everything like learn in public and build in public.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
when you are learning these things, you must be like you found something today, then it will be new thing for you, but it can be also for the various thousands of people. But you think like, yeah, no, it is like I am only the guy who is learning, and how can this be new to various people? But it is not like that.
hmm,
Whatever you learn, you share it public, and it can be in the form of a LinkedIn post, it can be Twitter post or
yeah,
Twitter tweet or a blog post or something. Make the entire tutorial kind of a thing. But
yeah.
I would recommend like first check what others have done already. So if you are doing same thing which
Same. Yeah,
already people have
yeah,
done, then
yeah.
it will be not that much of
Sure. Yeah,
use, and you will not get reach. So thing is about talking about reach also, you will not get your fruit of what you are doing today just in like 2 days or 2 months, or
sure. Yeah,
it can
it's
be
an
some.
ongoing, continuous learning process.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and meanwhile, you will get various freelancing gigs and paid things and
yeah,
projects and stuff. So it is not like about getting directly to the remote job. This thing, if you go steadily and do consistently, then you will get various things which is not just about remote jobs. So because it was never my goal to get remote job directly from the start. I was just helping the community, whatever I was learning,
hmm,
and it helped me some way because it grown my profile, it built my
sure.
brand slowly
Definitely.
slowly.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so if you are a college student or something, you should start from now, because nowadays college students are doing extensively next level things, so
yes.
competition is increasing.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it is not like you can't do at all. You can start.
yes,
Once you start, then you will learn slowly slowly. It is just a
yes,
process.
yes.
So talking about open source also, there are various resources available. I would recommend EddieHub community, which is by the Eddie Chowde. And then there is a Kunal has a nice Git and GitHub tutorials and open source tutorials, you can check that. And while learning the open source, what I would recommend, check only basic things like how to do the contributions.
Sure.
Once you know the contributions, then directly go to this website. Like if you want to do the contribution on the CNCF side, cloud native side, directly
Hmm.
go to the cncf.io. There are various
Sure.
projects available. Go to the projects and see what you can add. You can add in the designing, you can add in the documentation, you can add in the
Yeah,
code contributions. Then check their issues. If something can you add, or
sure.
check something is missing in the things. Can you make it more useful, make it more readable? Do you find it not readable? So how you can make it readable?
Sure.
That
Yeah,
kind of a questions you should ask yourself, and then you once you do your first contribution in the open source, then you will do lot of contributions.
yeah.
One of the other ways is like you can check the websites like which we build, normal community builder. Like I have my DevOps community.in.
Sure.
So it also has the GitHub projects. You can directly go there and see if you find any DevOps resource. Like Piyush has some playlist which is on the DevOps. You can directly share there and mention like it is good
Yeah,
playlist and it is helping the people.
yeah.
It will be a nice contribution. So it will
Sure.
be your first contribution.
Yes.
Similarly, check for small ones, and
Yeah.
once you do this small thing, it will grow your profile slowly, slowly.
That's amazing. So even like all other contributors, like Rishabh has this learn
Cloud.
code on learn to cloud community, and then Kunal also has the community, and then there is this Dave, I guess 90 days of DevOps.
Yeah,
What was it?
Michael,
At Michael,
Michael,
yeah,
Michael.
Michael. Yeah, so that is also an amazing resource. So yeah,
Yeah,
I mean that's what I also encourage all my viewers to, go and start making your contribution, start helping the communities. And it doesn't have to be a code contribution. You can start with a simple documentation change or a simple design document change. Anything that is helping the community. It doesn't have to be a code change, right? So
got it.
yeah, that's good to know. And uh, what about your, what about you, what type of projects that you usually contribute to? And like you said, like cloud native, CNCF, and all of, like, how did you start it? What was the first
Yeah,
project, if you remember it?
yeah. So first time, before getting the job and stuff in the remote, I didn't had open source on projects contribution on the GitHub. I
Okay.
had my blogs, I had
Okay.
tutorials,
Okay.
and it was like some of the projects were like no one has done previously.
Mm.
So you have to do something like that and
Yeah.
make it public. So it will be validation for your work. So I had written some kind of blocks where like you can get AWS infrastructure from scratch to
Hmm.
deployment, and then MLOps projects like how can you automate machine learning to the production, and similar kind of a projects I did. And after that, I was active on the LinkedIn mostly for these things, and it helped me getting the freelancing gigs and support works. Done that time only single things, but it helped me to connect the business folks like how they
Sure.
work, how their
Yeah.
things work. After that, when I first got introduced to Kubernetes, I did some minor website change. So in website, I guess there was some. Kubernetes released the new versions every year,
Yes.
and there was something missing in their version, which was newer. So I just created the pull request, and I added that thing, and in some days it got approved. And they are really fast in this way because there are lot of people
Yes.
which are
Yes.
contributors and
Kubernetes is like
maintainers
a
in
huge
Kubernetes.
open source community. Yes.
Yeah, and it will be tough to get contribution accepted, but if you get one only, then it will be nice start for you, because I have seen the students who have created entire Kubernetes translated websites now. So
Okay.
Hindi, I guess Kubernetes Hindi is created entirely by
Okay.
2 3 folks who are students, and one is Divya, who is a rancher technical writer, who is now developer advocate. So they have created this everything from scratch. So yeah, there are folks
But
like you
how do
and
they keep it updated? Like they just continuously monitor the original website?
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like whenever a new thing comes up, they will make it translations and they will make the
yeah,
PRs, and it will be long time contributions for them.
yes, because
So
like with Kubernetes, almost every day there is something new.
mhm,
It
yeah,
changes really frequently because I also work in on GKE, so GKE is my specialization. So I know like there has been a lot of changes that is happening. Even like let's say they are releasing a new release every quarterly or half yearly, but even then the small patches, hot fixes, they release is really frequently. So it's really hard to maintain a repository or a documentation that is based on Kubernetes. So yeah, I mean that's really a commendable work.
got it. Yeah, because GKE is something one of the popular Kubernetes managed
Yeah,
service,
yeah,
EKS, GKE, and
AKS,
Rancher.
AKS.
So
Yeah,
everyone uses AKS is there. So you must have known like how the releases package comes
yeah,
and goes. Similarly, I currently work on the Istio service mesh. So Istio is released by Google long years back,
yeah, and then it
and
was open
now,
source. Yeah,
yeah, after open source, now Google and Solo is only the company where everything happens in the inside the Istio. IBM is
okay,
also there, and I guess now so every open source project holds the TOC committee, so technical overviewing committee. That committee releases the blogs, releases the documentation, releases the every form you see for the maintainer application,
yeah,
member acceptance and stuff.
mhm,
So I guess three, so two are from Solo and one is from IBM or something,
Okay.
and Google one and someone from some other company. So only
Okay.
five are there. And so that's why I currently do the Istio contributions, Kubernetes contributions,
Okay.
and I do the code contributions also. Means mostly the code contributions, but I also sometimes check the documentation and if something is missing, we will add that. And now give the talks, which is like, so when ambient mesh was released, like no one was there to talk in India. So I was the only guy who was talking on this because I had the resources from my company. I was
Okay.
learning from them. And after learning, I was making it available to the folks who want to learn. I
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
seen like these service meshes and Kubernetes courses, not Kubernetes courses, but service mesh. Just some days ago, I see 48,000 for only the intro to the Istio. Oh, means whatever in the service measure. And that is available on the Solo Academy for free. And we are talking in these conferences for free. So I was just shocked, like how people are selling these courses and
Yeah.
stuff. So I would recommend if you get started with the open source, you will know like where the free path is available for every paid thing which you saw on the internet.
Sure. So, like we have discussed this in the past as well with some other member guests. So, I just wanted your opinion on this. What do you think? Like, if someone is making a code contribution, an open source code contribution, let's say to CNCF or a Kubernetes community, what should be the programming language that they would choose? Is there any preference
Uh,
for that, or it doesn't matter?
I think it doesn't matter, but nowadays most of the code language on the DevOps side means most of the code contribution you can see that means new open source projects
Sure.
which
Yeah.
comes in the CNCF, they are mostly built on the Go
Go.
or Rust
Okay.
also.
Yeah.
So and they are trying to build the packages and libraries, but it doesn't matter. Like there's some library, some packages, some releases will be on the Python or it can be Java or somewhere other. So it doesn't matter because once you learn one programming language, another can you learn
Sure.
easily.
Yeah.
So one, yeah,
Yeah.
so
So
it is
if
just a
yeah,
syntax
so
game.
if
Yeah.
yeah, so if someone is new to the programming world or the coding, and they still yet to choose their first programming language, then they could go with Go to make the open source contribution. Else,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
whatever they
for
are
them,
comfortable with. Yeah.
I would recommend like first understand the language well. Once you go with the fundamentals clearly, then just check the open source projects where you can contribute. So
Sure.
if
Yeah.
your language one is available there, like if
Mhm.
some code base is already in the language you learned,
Yeah.
make your first contribution in them and slowly you
Sure.
will understand what is the game of the open source and how you can do the contributions and how you can learn from it and how it can flourish your career. So slowly you will understand everything.
Okay. So let's talk about a little about the freelancing gigs that you can get when you start making the open source contribution. Like, how did how did it started for you?
Yeah, so freelancing one started during my first company. So I was making the projects on the LinkedIn and means I was sharing that in the article forms. So these companies found out like these articles and they reached out to me. So, but other way is like you can go to the Fever and that websites, but it is tough. Means
Yeah.
when you apply to the
Yeah,
Upwork
if
and
you are
Fever,
new
it will
to,
be real.
yeah, it takes time.
Yeah, it is tough because once you crack your first project, then only you will get another
Yes.
projects. But at the start, it will be really difficult for you. So don't get hopeless or something.
Yeah,
So
but like you said earlier as well, so if you start making your presence visible in the community, it will
yeah,
be easier for
doesn't
you to
matter.
get. Yeah. So in that case, you wouldn't even have to apply for it. Companies will, starting to reach out to you. Okay.
So freelancing gigs, it is like in different manners. You will get if your profile is nice, you will have your profile is nice and you are building nice projects and something, and it will be in the article form. Then they can ask you as a technical writer. They can ask you as like build supporting some person or something in some projects. So that can be another way. That can be. there is one kind of a work which like it is very popular in the APAC region, but I would not recommend you. So it is like support work, so work assistant kind of a role where you help the Canadian or US folks or European folks with 1 hour or 2 hour daily for
Yeah,
their work.
that's not what I would
Yeah,
suggest also. And it's
you should.
not, if you see, it's not even legal. So they are working
Yeah,
somewhere and they are hiring someone outside to get their work done. So yeah,
yeah,
it's not even ethical to do. And yeah, I mean, I totally
and they
agree with
are
you.
they are making you work for like 25,000 or 30,000 for the work which is they are getting paid for like thousands, not thousands, I guess 20 lakhs or 30 lakhs. So think about what where you are wasting the time.
Yes, yes,
So
exactly.
another thing is you can do the projects for the companies. You can get freelancing gigs for the six
Yes,
months or hourly based. And when you work, it will be in the dollars and euros format for sure. Another thing you can do, which is making the so another way is now it is like content creation. Many companies hire for the content creators if they
yeah,
are nice on the social profile, so you can do that thing. And yeah, there are various freelancing type of
yeah,
gigs, and you can help some companies for the website creations also, deployments, and these technical terms if you are in the technical world.
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's really good to know. And yeah, I wish we have more time, but I just wanted to cover the main points and your knowledge and experience regarding open source and remote jobs, and you have explained it really well. So I hope this video will be helping a lot folks that are watching this, and I'm sure we will be having such collaboration in the future as well. And I will put all your amazing resources, all your amazing contribution that you do in the description section of this video so that others can
Sure,
go and
sure.
check. So this is how I reached out to you as well. This is how I knew about you when I saw one of your LinkedIn post about the remote jobs roadmap, and that was pretty amazing,
Hmm.
that was pretty brilliant and to the point. So I will share that as well in the description, and I will share your YouTube link. And uh, I mean, that's really amazing talk. Thank you so much, Rohit, for joining us today
Thank
and
you for
sharing
having me.
all.
Also, I would like to mention that remote job roadmap. So it was kind of, I just mentioned my entire journey. So how I
Yeah,
started
yeah,
and how
yes,
I built the path. And it was never my goal to get remote job,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So it is just for my adding my work on the presence on the LinkedIn and
yeah,
everywhere. And this is the path. If you follow, you will get the freelancing gigs also. You will get hired with the nice companies without getting into the interview. You don't have to sit on the interviews,
sure, yeah,
and also you will get the remote jobs for sure if you go slowly and do it
yes,
step by step. It is not
yeah,
like
yeah. It takes time
you,
to get all the knowledge and everything. There are no shortcuts to success, right? You
yeah.
cannot
Otherwise,
just,
you will,
yeah,
yeah. Otherwise, you will come and talk to Piyush and Rohit like you discuss getting remote jobs to the remote job roadmap, and we
yeah,
are not
yeah,
getting. It will not work like that. You just have to follow the path, and someday you will get the food for it.
yes, definitely. All right. Thank you so much once again, Rohit. And I wish you
Thank
good
you.
luck with all your upcoming sessions on Cloud Native, Istio Service Mesh, and KubeCon. So all the best for that. And we are looking forward to seeing you as a speaker once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you.